What's up, y'all? I hope you're having a good one. Today, we're going to talk about Tears of Metal. It's a roguelike kind of melee-based combat game that's been on my radar since the beginning part of the year. But let's dive in and let's talk about it. So like I said, it's a roguelike. If you're not familiar with that word, it just means that when you play at any point, if you die, you essentially go back to the beginning. And the idea is that as you play through the game, you unlock stuff and like passives and rewards that will apply immediately to the next time you start the game so that you can blow through stuff faster to kind of more or less get back to where you died and continue progressing. Roughly, not every roguelike plays one-to-one like that, but I think that's a good little nutshell. So if you've been watching the screen at all, you can see that you kind of play as like a Scottish dude and you lead an army of soldiers into battle against the English so you can give them the steel, laddie, and just have a blast. And I was scared it was gonna be hack and slash, kind of like Dynasty Warriors, which was fun when I grew up as a kid, but over time, you kind of realize the challenge isn't there and you can just mash. And you cannot do that in this game. In the beginning stages, sure, maybe like the first couple of regions, but quickly, as you get into the more denser areas, you start to fight tougher enemies who interrupt you and have armor through your attacks, and you have to be careful. One of the things that stands out to me in this game is maybe not combo system per se, but just kind of how you have a variety of moves and tools as you go through combat. Sometimes it's just dodge and attack, but in this game you have your standard light attacks, you have some heavy attacks to break guards, you have like a combo or two. I've only seen like 2 combos so far, which are still satisfying to pull off, but you also have some options where you can guard and stab into enemies. You have your dodge roll, you can lock on, you can parry incoming enemy attacks if you don't feel like dodging, and you have some options. Now I'm sure certain enemies will require a parry while others will probably require a dodge. But I'm still filling it out. I fought a couple of bosses and mini bosses, and it's been pretty exciting. The combat feels pretty fleshed out. The screen is not overcrowded in my opinion. It's a good balance. I feel like some of the games that have been hack and slash will have way too much happening on the screen. I feel like it's condensed to the right amount for this game. Getting into some of the roguelike elements, in the beginning stages, the battles vary from like 5 to maybe 15 minutes because some of them have boss fights and some have multiple objectives. After you clear each area on the map, you will get passive abilities of like a list of 3, which may expand. For now it's 3, that you can choose from. You take your ability, you try to lean into that ability as you play through. One of the things I found interesting was that you don't get health very easily in this game, so you have to be careful with your spam. You can't just run up to a crowd of enemies and slash. If there's a couple of heavy enemies in there, then they have armor, they can push through your attack, or they just swing pretty fast, so you can only get in 2 hits or so before they retaliate. And of course you can parry back or dodge around it, and even your dodge can blow up an explosion around you, which is really cool. You can add a little shock wave to your heavy attack, which is some of the abilities you get from the roguelike experience. But if you want to heal, for the most part, you need to be finding like statues and things around the arena, which will be marked on your map, but you need to build up money by defeating enemy, looting treasure chests, etc., to then access the health, the healing upgrades, or the healing upgrades, or just the health in general, which I like because that means you have to be pretty careful when you're on the battlefield. And I mean, obviously, you know, it sounds like that IRL, right, that you be careful on the battlefield, but it reflects in the game that you can't just spam your way through, or you could end up dead or back at the main menu. So let's tap on the music and the art. I think the music, for lack of better words, is pretty metal. It gets you pumped up, especially when you're like going into a battle and you're like, everyone's charging in. The music does a good job of setting that mood to give them the steel. You know what I mean? It just pumps you up. It really fits what's happening very well. You'd be surprised at the amount of games where like you're playing as a knight or something, you're charging into the battlefield with your sword, and the music isn't quite where you want it to be. And I feel like that's actually a large part of the battle, is getting pumped up and getting that mindset to cut them down. So I really like that part, and the art style for the game, and the way that it's like the way it's not like a top down or anything like that. It's not first person. I think over the shoulder feels good. The camera, I don't have any issues moving that around. I think that the art style is great, and I'm not looking for super realism every time I play a game. Sometimes these cool kind of, I don't know what to call it. I don't know what the type of style is. I don't think it's shade like Wind Waker, but this art style is welcome. I feel like we don't see enough of this stuff, and I feel like it's a good fit for the game on top of what's happening in the game. It looks great, it sounds great. Like the combat, which I think I've said it, but I'll say it again, feels great. Last couple of pieces, I just want to say that the bosses and like the elites, and then you have your regular heavies and all that, there's definitely diversity between them. It doesn't feel like it's going to be a copy-paste game. just for my couple of boss fights I had, they seem fairly unique where there's like a condition or two. It's not just a run up and spam them down kind of thing, which is good. That means there's creativity in the early stages of the game, and you can probably expect that to happen throughout the game. Super excited for that. Lastly, I just want to say that I really enjoyed charging into battle with my soldiers. I used to play Dynasty Warriors and I had Empires, and it was always cool seeing the generals run around with 40, 50 dudes as they charge in, but you only have like 4. But Empires and like this game, you have a decent little size squad of dudes, and you see them running in there, and you see Toby like, huh, huh, you know, and then you look to your right and you see Jamal just running through, and you know, it's fun. It's fun. It really kind of, I wouldn't say it's a power fantasy, maybe like a war fantasy kind of thing, but it's kind of cool to just charge in, and then you have reliable people charging in behind you. So I'm looking forward to see if you can upgrade your squad, make them stronger, make them look tougher and all that. I had a lot of fun with this. I think this is an easy must buy for me. I can't remember the last time I played a demo or something. I was like, oh dude, I gotta get this. I had a blast. I think you should give it a try. It's on Steam right now. Check out the demo. I don't know if the demo's coming to consoles. I don't know anything like that, but I had a blast. Definitely check it out if you have the resources to do so. And if you enjoyed the video, like, sub, comment what you thought about the video, my opinion on it, all that good stuff. Y'all stay safe. As always, it's getting crazy, or it's getting crazier out here. And peace out.